What's up, everybody?
Evil
Welcome
must
back
not
to
be
another
allowed to
episode of
triumph this
Third
day.
Age Total War Divide and Conquer version 1.1. And, gosh, I think they're ready to release version 2 of Divide and Conquer, but we're still steamrolling on as the Realm of Imladris on version 1.1. Because, well, you know, this is kind of my mod. As you can see, we have giant, super expensive units right now. The elite Eldarinwe army. Some of the best units in the game, obviously made considerably stronger because there's 2.5 times the amount of soldiers per unit. And these guys are pretty damn hard to beat, that's for sure. But we're facing the Dominion of Isengard, I think is what they called it in this mod. Really, it's just Saruman's forces, I guess you'd call them. Here we have our Telchus Faithful. And we start right away just with shooting the heck out of these guys. Now, this is not a live commentary, this is a commentary after the fact, and it's kind of been a while since I've seen kind of where we're at in this campaign. It's been a while since I've done this battle. I'm doing this commentary over just to give it a little better audio quality than my previous commentary, so I didn't kind of do that over. And so at this point, yeah, obviously this should be an easy win. Really, they should just run right away. Obviously, my target's gonna be, at least with one of my archers, to shoot the wargs. Wargs are so easy to take out with archer fire. They drop like flies, as you can see. But yeah, what's going on? I've been playing a lot of the Dunedain by myself when I don't have time to do a commentary or keep this guy going. But you can see their midline is coming right for my spearmen, which is not a line of infantry that I'd ever want to charge right at.
The enemy general lies dead.
What are they doing? We want to keep our archers focused on their missile units. And at this point, I don't know why, but what I would do if I could go back is to have my swordsmen circle around the outside now. Now that the threat is gone from... Yeah,
pursue and run them down.
They saw what they were facing. And they wisely chose to run. Now, maybe not wisely, they're all going to get caught and taken prisoner by my cavalry. And probably the Telchus Faithful too. Telchus Faithful are fairly fast. And so they might just be running right up behind. But for this campaign right now, we're obviously using our Imladris Rangers, which is the Mongolian-style horse archers that I have modified the heck out of to make pretty awesome. They're down in the south, breaking the lore and just crushing on Mordor, trying to push Mordor back from Rohan, however you want to pronounce it. And we're pushing on against Isengard, against Dunland, and really trying to clear the west of any kind of... And now there's questions that remain about how I want to proceed. Obviously, Linden would be the best faction that I can bolster, but if, say, Gondor were to fall, I would maybe replace them with the Dunedain, because the Dunedain's late level units are so freaking good. They're stinking awesome. And so it might be best to use them to fight Mordor along with maybe rebolstering Gondor. I don't know.
This is a
potentially
clear
maybe
victory.
having the northern Dunedain take the southern flank with Dol Amroth, and that'll leave Gondor to just have to worry about Mordor. And so there's a lot of different options of going forward, but the thing about giving bases is you want to give bases to either a similar culture to yours, because then you can build, like for me, I can build art studios to the highest level, and then give a base off to Linden, and that'll bring the whole power of Linden to bear. Now I can do that with the other factions too, but Linden is kind of left without a target at this point. I know they're pushing down the side of the coastline there, but after they beat Anadwaith, they're kind of left without a target, because I'm going to cut them off from going towards Isengard, and then you have Rohan, and Rohan you kind of want to bolster. You want them to do good, and at least be able to hold, you know, what they got going on. But in any case, guys, I'm going to shoot it on a time lapse during the strat map portion of this. Again, if you guys have any questions about the strategy I'm doing on the strat map, leave them down in the comments section. But we'll time lapse through the strategy map portion of this so we can get right back to the battle. So see you guys in a little bit. And we're back for another battle, this one against Mordor, who's trying to break my siege of, I don't know if it was Elrond or what,
The tide of battle seems to have
head,
turned against us. We must act and halt
interesting
this turn
battle
of
map
events.
here. We're on basically the side of a mountain. I think to basically be similar to Dunharrow, but I remember fighting in this area as Rohan or Rohan, however you want to pronounce it, yet again.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
And the area around Elrond is really kind of crappy. It's either weirdly shaped hills, the bridge battles are really weird. They just don't really work out too good. But yeah, at this point we're going to speed it up, let them come to us, and then we'll do our Mongolian rush and see how sweet the just Rangers armor is. Their bows are pretty sweet looking. Pretty badass unit. Something that not many people do. I've never seen a mod with anybody using more than like 60 to maybe 90 is like the highest number I've seen as like a horse unit. But to have a unit of 249 with plenty of archer ammo and you know, 9 chevron, heavy armor, yet fast, is pretty hard to beat. These guys take down stacks. Of course, if you're playing against a human, they'd be able to figure out how to take you down maybe a little bit better than these guys. These guys are just kind of walk towards, maybe jog sometimes, but never really catch as long as you can stay on top of your horse game. Every once in a while, your horses will kind of glitch out a little bit, but and not really follow your orders truly. But since I've been using this wedge formation, it always works really good. I never had a problem really with the horse archers really breaking formation that much. As long as you keep moving them pretty much in a general rounding fashion, they stay in formation pretty good. In fact, if you really get the method down right, they will they'll actually curve properly. They'll take kind of a wide cornering so as to not have like the rear units of your horse archers get kind of hit by melee. So really, the only threat against the AI is really their archers or pikemen if you really drop your guard, but they have to catch you, or you have to charge them, which would be stupid. Obviously, we still have the flee button. We can shoot all our arrows, basically obliterate this army, and then just withdraw. Which I don't think I've done yet with these Imladris Rangers. With the amount of power they have, unless you're going up against halberdiers or pikemen, you can cycle charge with these guys, especially considering the fact that they have 9 chevrons already to, you know, on top of a high attack with their swords, and so these guys are pretty stinking hard to beat overall, unless you really have a spec'd out army that's made, you know, with the sole purpose of just chasing these guys down and killing them. Well, what I would do if I was Mordor, strategically speaking, is I would just gather all my Nazgul and just chase these sons of guns down and take them out via the Nazgul. That would be an actual interesting fight. Have the 9 come, or well, it would probably be the 6, because I think Dol Guldur gets like 3 Nazgul, or 2, something like that. But if Dol Guldur were to fall, then Mordor would get all 9 of them. That's one thing. If I ever played as Mordor, I would probably strategically do invasions so that Dol Guldur would fall.
I would keep my invasions to the south or to the far west, and then just let Dol Guldur get kind of pummeled strategically. I would try to outrun them to bases. I would try to cut them off from their support from Rune, and then, you know, get treaties with the Woodland Realm and treaties with the Vale of Anduin and the Galadrim, and try to set it up so that Dol Guldur's basically just got enemies all around them except for me. And that, I think, would probably beat them. And now Rune are just one of those factions, whereas if you leave them to their own devices, they probably win out in the Far East. They would probably beat everything. It comes to a certain point in most campaigns where they basically just own like the whole side of the freaking map. They own like half the map or a good quarter chunk of the map of all Middle Earth, and so they become very hard to beat. But I love the late game. In the late games I got going right now, the Dunedain, I'm basically fighting Rune, and it's like, oh wow, you know, that's weird. You're way west, they're way east. You know, that's kind of like two superpowers collide, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I love, the superpower collisions and trying to eliminate their stack spam by, you know, holding key choke points and then maneuvering around using the map, really strategizing with the map to find where their huge military production centers are and obliterate them.
The enemy general lies dead.
You know, go on runs where you just take out all their infrastructure, fall back, and then, you know, then they can't really stop you from going forward and really building the infrastructure you need to hold any advancement. See, I love the late game, the late game fights. Get my victory conditions and then go for, you know, world domination, at least to the point where I'm taking on the biggest superpower of the world at that point in time.
The battle seems to be swinging in our favor. From such tidings does
and,
victory
you know, we'll see
emerge.
what happens in this campaign. I might do something like that, but part of me just wants to get my victory conditions, and that way I can upgrade to the version 2 for Divide and Conquer when that comes out, which is looking really good. I'm enjoying 1.2 with the Dunedain. I'm playing the Dunedain campaign by myself. It's nice to just play without, you know, worrying about recording or anything like that. I can just have fun and experiment basically continuously with
Our men
unit
have fought long
structures,
and are becoming tired.
how the units are, how big they are, how small they are. I've been trying so many different things, which is a lot of fun. It gives me extra ways to entertain you guys going forward. But as you can see, we've obliterated these orcs. We are out of arrows. And the question now is, shall we cycle charge these guys? We got archers, we got some like orc band which have spears, but let's see. Our guys are in position to cycle charge. This army's coming up. I think we're gonna cycle charge these guys. We're gonna see what a head-on charge with 249 sword-wielding elves that are heavily armored, let alone their horses aren't really armored. But the speed of impact should be interesting to watch. I mean, that's just funny. I mean, just trying to position this giant horse unit is just this is crazy, to say the least. Very crazy. But yeah, we want to time it just right. We want to time it so that they're going to be facing uphill when the point of impact happens. We don't want to give them the advantage of looking down on our horses, which they somewhat would be right now. So at this point, they're probably, or it's at least going to be level. I think they're going uphill now. You can see how they kind of stopped. That left side column might break my guys.
Our men have
charged.
slain the enemy general. Without
Boom.
him, his troops will lose their will
Deep
to
into
fight.
their lines.
Behold
They
how
had
our
that kind
cowardly
of,
foe
yeah, there's a
runs.
victory charge right
It's time
there.
to press the attack.
I don't think we lost a horse. That's surprising. I thought we were going to lose a horse or two.
This is it. Attack.
Victory charge is successful, and now my elves are
This is it.
doing what they do best, chasing down routers and cutting them down fastly, taking them prisoner. But ultimately, that's one thing that Mordor doesn't really do that often, is accept ransoms. They just say, oh yeah, just execute him, we'll replace him soon enough. But yeah, you can see this is what's the kind of the glitchy part of using this big a unit of horses. Is they get kind of glitched up sometimes.
Be awed by the victory we
don't,
have won here
sometimes they do,
today.
and it's kind of annoying. No men remaining, and a couple, stacking a bit are dead. That reinforcing army kind of came up, got charged, and just ran away. But we'll call it on that, and we're gonna shoot it back over to a time lapse between battles. And see you guys at the next battle. Alright guys, here we go for battle number 3 of this episode. We were taking on some more Mordorians, if you want to call them that. The Sons of Sauron. No, you don't even want to call them that. That'd be interesting. Now, I've always said there'd be a play on the lore would be that if Sauron, who basically foresaw his own death, foresaw that he was going to die because somebody was going to plop the ring into Mount Doom, basically created like a score of offspring. Maybe even bring in Legolas's mother. Took Legolas's mother captive. Left a score of immortal, like elven Mire offspring that were to go far into the east and then come back and basically take over Sauron. Have the spirit of Sauron return in them, and maybe even tie in the Blue Wizards. Who knows? But I always thought that would be a cool idea, as a continuation of the lore into the Fourth Age. But now we'll leave that up to the Tolkiens if they ever want to continue the story of the lore of Middle-earth. But pretty good where they left it. It's interesting how they left it. But I'm getting more and more into the history of the Númenóreans, and the history of Arnor and Gondor and everything. These great beasts, Mordor's best and brightest, who won't be able to do anything unless they can
lost
catch
half
my
their
cavalry.
men. Good
That's
tidings.
the key.
The enemy general lies
They
dead.
gotta catch my cav. And because I'm targeting them specifically, and now they're all dead. Great beasts are great in support of the full stack. And I'm really, what I'm doing is just fully exploiting Mordor's weakness. They're purely infantry based, aside from their Nazgul generals, or if they hire out mercenaries. They don't really have any cavalry. So with this infantry force, unless it's heavy on the missiles, they just can't touch these horse archers. This is just full-on Mongolian attack. This is like what the Mongols did to a lot of the heavy infantry of the nations that they attacked, and it's just the horse archers have a tactical advantage because of the fact that they're so fast you can't catch them. Because whether you believe it or not, horses can actually run faster than humans.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue and run them down.
Fortunately for these orcs, they're going to get beat back by this singular captain of Imladris, who's coming down here with the best and brightest. We've only lost a couple elves in the battles he's fought, but he's going to make a name
by
for
the
himself.
victory
I'm
we
sure
have won here today.
with enough of these battles, he's eventually going to get adopted into the family. It'd be cool if we could promote him to a general, because if I could promote him to a general, then I would probably take one of the bases down here and make it kind of an elven staging point, or build up the art studios and throw in the Galadrim or the Linden, throw in one of the elven factions down here in this fight, and that'll that'll suck some of their forces from the Elven mainlands to come down. As you can see, I got Toggle Fog of War off. I wanted to give a quick check before this battle to see kind of what's going on in the world. You know, you could call me a cheater, but I wanted to just see. With Mordor's pushing down south, you know, Mordor's done a lot of damage. Surprisingly, though, Dol Amroth and Gondor have held the southern front. You know, the Haradrim haven't crossed the River Anduin yet. And so, there's that. Reclaim of Edoras. And, yeah. Lebanon has fallen, so Pelargir, one of the best cities Gondor has fallen. Just all sorts of crap. You can see that it kind of skipped the end turn there, guys. And yeah, I haven't done the time lapse either. I just wanted to explain that the game basically crashed in the end turn, and so I had to reload in and hit the start button again. But I'm just gonna chat through this a little bit just to see what the strategy is. Obviously, we're building up incredible forces and getting them retrained to have incredible armor and experience and attack stats, and these will be the slaughter houses of this army. You know, once the invasion is done at Gundabad, we'll be bringing down our leader and our heir and his brother and Glorfindel, and all our power to bear will be put into the fight for the east, because I know soon the fight for the west will be done very shortly. And so, yeah, I'm going to skip right here, guys. We're going to throw it back on the old time lapse, and I'll catch you guys in the next battle. We are back, guys, for another battle in the south. Mordor is at it again. They do not want to give up the southern flank to me, and allowing me to strengthen Rohan again to the point where they could at least defend themselves against Mordor, or I can help them be defensible against Mordor. And so I had sieged Alberg, one of Rohan's most powerful bases, powerful cities and towns, and Mordor is having none of it. They want to break the siege, and so I'm going to go and just obliterate them. I'm just going to go buck wild with arrows and elven skill in battle, and here we go. The rush has started. These, that's one of the funny things about horse archers in this game. I love horse archers. I love making custom horse archer units, but the problem is I can only use the units that are horse archer, like the models that are horse archer already. I can't take what's on the ground, any kind of ground archer in Divide and Conquer right now, and plop them on a horse, because the problem is they have models now that lets you notch an arrow. All the ground archers, they notch an arrow. You can visibly see them notch an arrow and shoot their arrows. But with horse archers, none of them do. They just kind of, they look like they're stretching a string, and the arrow just pops out of the middle of the air and goes flying towards its target, which is still cool. I'm not going to say that's game breaking, but because we know how many games in the past do that. But the problem is that with that change, and with the fact that nobody's been able to do that with horse archers yet, if you try to put an infantry archer onto a horse, it just glitches right out. Like, it does some of the weirdest crap you've ever seen. And so when you do that, like their bows are just enormous. They're like, they go around the entire horse. And you can imagine that. I should show a screenshot of that, but I don't have any available. And so just totally glitched out. Because one of the things I wanted to do is the Grey Company that are Aragorn's bodyguard. They look cool to start. I'm like, okay, they're cool. They're not really trying to show that they're Dunedain. They just have kind of like a little star on the center of their chest. But in order to have like an armor upgrade, like, okay, so we've reestablished the Dunedain. We've reestablished sort of the Northern Kingdom. We've fired the forges. We're building the armors that we used to have, and so there's a unit called local captains or something like that. They're basically archers that have this Arnorian armor. When they're upgraded, they look just like the Arnorian units from the Battle of the Last Alliance, where you see kind of the Arnorian units along with the Gondorian units. They have that kind of style armor,
enemy are
just plate armor
bloodied.
like that.
They have
I wanted to
lost
put that
half
on
their
this
men.
Grey Company, put that on the horse, because they still have the backshot shield that they can pull out and use. And then, so it's similar, it's just basically adding the armor too. And so I haven't been able to do that, just based on the fact that when you plop somebody on the ground onto a horse, then it doesn't work out too good. But as you can see, the bodies are littering the field. Their trolls aren't running, they're just they're walking with their infantry, so they can kind of somewhat hide in their infantry and then lash out. But this strategy only works if I were to stand still. It doesn't work if I do the roundabout fashion that I'm doing right now. Because as you can see, you can see the death pattern right now is that they've just walked around in a circle, just basically walking towards me. Guys, I have their infantry, someone jogging towards me. As you can see, some of their trolls get pummeled with arrows. A volley of 256 arrows flying in towards trolls. And there's Sauron's Will, one of the best infantry units that Sauron can field. They're pretty awesome. I've used them before. They do numbers on just like your normal like Gondorian infantry. But if you pin them up against some of the elites in the game, the Sauron's Will, they'll hold the line for a bit, but they will eventually fall, just because their attack stats aren't good enough to really dig into some of the more elite tier armors and everything. And there's our next unit of trolls. So they tried the Great Beast last battle, and this battle in particular, they're going at me with trolls. and if they pincered properly, they could have found some way to sandwich me. If this were a human fighting me, they would find some way to surround me and try numerous times to cut me off and find ways to fill gaps that I couldn't really run through. And if they could catch me into infantry fight, or if they can catch me into melee, they might have a way to cut me down. But even me, I know if I get caught in melee, I'm just going to keep double-clicking the run button, and you guys will keep trying to get out of melee. So they would have to swarm. They would have to utterly swarm this unit, this elite unit, to do any sort of damage to it. But poor Mordor, they're trying their hardest to do something. But coming at me with these types of units isn't going to work. What they should do is finish off Rohan with these armies. They should take out Rohan so I can't keep up, because I can't go in and attack a base without infantry. I need to have siege equipment to get through the gates. Can't push a battering ram with a unit of horse archers, so I'm stuck just sieging and drawing Mordor in so I can slaughter them out in the open field, which is what I'm doing now. Now, if they were to resist my sieges, if they were to say, oh, okay, we're going to go buy this unit of horse archers, because obviously they're too strong, or too strong for them, let's go take out the rest of Rohan. And they could go attack the other bases of Rohan, obliterate Rohan, to the point where, okay, I can't keep up. I can't siege a base that takes 9-10 turns to siege, and the time it takes Mordor to push their armies around and just conquer the rest of Rohan.
Our men have fought long
that
and
would
are
be a
becoming
viable
tired.
strategy too, just to ignore this unit and be like, okay, well, wherever you attack, you can siege it out, you know, and we'll just go take what you're not doing, and that would be the smartest thing for them to do. I think that'd be the only really way if they can't beat me tactically on the field of battle. They got to field the right units to even just do damage, you know. And here's the thing: you go at me with, say, if you have, you know,
The
5
enemy are badly
Nazgul,
bloodied.
go at me with
They
5
have lost half
Nazgul
their men.
and a stack of, you know, halberdiers and rook archers and all that, and you take out half of my unit because I can't run away from all 5 of your Nazgul. They cut me off and they get me caught in melee, and Nazgul are really fighting and
From
good at
such
fighting in
tidings
melee,
does victory
and
emerge.
I'm pinned down trying to run away, and the you know, the halberdiers run in and start chopping down my horses, but I win. I still win, and I kill the Nazgul. Even say if I just get a total victory, I just play it to the max, but I take some losses. That's a better outcome for Mordor at this part, because they're going to get their Nazgul back in a couple turns. That might slow them up in their attack on Gondor, which is really their bigger enemy at this point, until I can start fielding some armies down here in the south. You know, that's more of a viable option. But as you can see, we're continuing the slaughter. And what happened last battle might happen again. We're running low on arrows. Obviously, with horses, they can hold a little more arrows than just your standard infantrymen, because you can just lug a couple quivers on the side of your horse, pull that quiver up, put it around your shoulder, and throw the old quiver out, empty quiver out, you know, while you're riding your horse. So, yeah, I know speed's one thing, you don't want to weigh your horse down too much, but these horses already don't have any armor on it, and so why not throw a couple extra quivers and arrows? And I just found this to be very realistic. You know, these horse archers don't have the staying power of infantry, but they are fabulous. One of the best units in the game, for sure. And you're really one-on-one. You can only beat this unit without outsmarting them, because, you know, even if you were to take something like, say, Mumakil. Okay, Mumakil, they have, you know, their archers on the top, somewhat of a missile unit, and if they get into melee, they'll just destroy pretty much whatever it is. The Mumakil are going to die unless they have some way of cutting me off and getting me stuck in melee, and then the Mumakil can just run through and just annihilate my unit. But they would have to outsmart me, because my horses, I believe, are still faster than the Oliphants. I might be wrong. Maybe the Oliphants are faster, but that would be another weapon that, you know, Mordor could call up an invasion, you know, and get some of the Haradrim up here to do battle against this unit
Our men have slain the
super
enemy
horse
general.
archers.
Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
But yeah, one-on-one, really, you know, you have to outsmart. You have to get me caught off my guard, get me stuck in melee where I can't get away. You know, pin me down with a fast unit, and then bring in your pikemen right behind to start a meat grinder on the flanks of these horse archers. But you know, even dismounted, these horse, you know, archers would be fantastic. They have really good stats.
The enemy army,
But,
our men
they
have
would get
slain
beaten
the
in a lot
enemy
of
general.
one-on-one scenarios.
Without him, his troops will lose their will
But
to
on
fight.
horseback, they are pretty near unstoppable. The AI has to outsmart me, which hasn't done yet. So we're going to switch off our wedge formation. We are now out of arrows. All of my horse archer arrows are spent. And so we are going to set up for cycle charging. And so anything that wants to run at me, if that's left, will get destroyed. We'll get utterly obliterated.
Rush them!
It's just these rogue archers. So I'm going to start the push. And one of my favorite things to see in this game
Behold
is
how
a
our
full-on
cowardly
charge,
foe
which we're
runs.
not going to see,
It's time to
unfortunately, because
press
these
the
guys
attack.
know better. They're going to try to run away instead of accepting their fate. of a full-blown cavalry charge up to the front. So that's the end of that battle. They're going to finish chasing these guys down. Obviously, we did fantastic. I don't even know if we took a casualty. That's another one of the glitches in this game. Sometimes you just get that, okay, I'm in combat, but I'm not going to finish chasing these guys down. So a quick fix to that is just try to reaffirm your formation, restart your formation, and then try to attack again. Even that might not work. You might get the same bug over and over and over.
Utterly vanquished.
2
Let
lost,
all who remember this day
1,900
remember it
kills
as the day of
for
our
this
most
battle.
glorious.
What a battle. Crazy. We're going to continue on. I'm going to shoot it right over to your time-lapse, guys, and we'll catch you at the start of the next battle. Take care. Alright, we are back for another battle, the last battle of this video. And we are bringing our main army, our expeditionary army, against the forces of Weisinger, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we're going to make good use of our artillery, our copious amounts of artillery, our elites. And the cool thing about our arty, as you guys probably know, is that they are also elite infantry. So to field this army right now, just so you guys don't think it's just cheap what I'm doing here, it's not cheap, it's actually quite expensive. So the cost of the arty upkeep, so the catapults and the ballista, are triple, because not only is it double the amount of artillery pieces, it's also elite infantry that can dismount from the, not dismount, but choose to come off of the arty and fight as infantry, and they're very good at that. The Eldarinway units, the elite spearmen and swordsmen and archers, are times 2.5 the cost of upkeep to have these guys. So just to field this army, I mean, this is why I attacked, you know, the High Pass, the Red Pass, a lot of the mountain bases, and that's to build up the infrastructure that would be required to field this type of an army. Because you need to be making, you know, tens of thousands of dollars every turn in order to pay just to field this army. And so yeah, we have our cavalry situated on the left. Obviously our main goal will be to take out their artillery as soon as possible. You can see we have our ballistas shooting at the catapults and our catapults shooting at their ballistas. Their ballistas are a little more accurate than their catapults, but their catapult can, I believe, do more damage if it gets the hit. It has the more killing potential if you get the hits, so this is why we're set up as a line rather than as the deep cluster, like the V formation cluster that I usually use, because that lends to end up getting more death from artillery. But we're probably going to play defensive to start. I want to try to thread the needle here with my horse archers, and then cut their cavalry out. We got all our catapults ready, roaring and ready to go, and our elite units on the sides who are just going to be ready to kick butt. And so this battle is going to be a lot of management. It's fun watching it, having already played it. I remember this battle a lot clearly than the other ones that we watched together. This one was a pretty good battle. I made a couple mistakes, but nothing too huge. So we're going to shift our general out, and we're going to shift our Imladris riders in, and we're going to cut our horse archer cav to the right. And so we are going to try to take care of those wargs right away with our cav. Super high attack cav. Our cav should be able to drop those cavalries right away. And as you can see, with all my experience of using cavalry, that it draws infantry, which is good because it gives our archers and artillery more time.
The enemy
just to
general
shoot.
lies. The battle is very much in our favor. Victory
I'm
will
not
be
sure
ours.
if I targeted. Ooh, it looks like we took down their captain already, so this is not going good for them at all. So now it's, what are we going to do with our horse archers? We got them. They're not being specifically targeted by any of their infantry, but it's getting close now. You can see our cavalry on the right flank running out. You can see that the infantry's closing in on my cavalry on the left flank. Their infantry is. So yeah, we want to target their arty. That's going to be the biggest target because that can take out a good chunk of my troops. Any death right now is very is very not good, really. It's hard to replace these troops. Obviously, they don't grow on trees. These are elves. They take a long time to replenish their ranks. So, with big square clumps of elite infantry, if they get hit with a big boulder, it's going to kill a good amount of them, and they really have nothing to do. So, being able to properly judge when to move, when to sidestep, when to run to the side, is going to be kind of crucial right now. And just deciding who to shoot, when to shoot. I'm dropping my arty right now. I'm going to get them off of there, and I'm going to set up a line in the backfield here. Because it looks like their infantry is just coming right on in the center. Which is good. This leads to envelopment, really. They're going to shift out. Or if they go right into the center, I can flank with my spearmen. There's their... Oh, man. Okay, so now it's high risk right now. And so we're going to charge our heavy cav back in. And we're going to drop our horse archers out to the side. Hopefully they can get out of there in time without getting caught. It looks as though all of our infantry are safe. Ooh, that turn. Cutting it close with their infantry, that's for sure. Well, my cavalry advance on the center will give me an opening. If we can take care of those wargs, it'll give me an opening to take care of their artillery as well. So we are running high risk versus their arty. Oh man, if they get a lucky shot with a flaming pitch, they could take a good chunk of my spearmen out. And I'm surprised they don't try to engage, like even just a flank of my infantry, try to surround one of my units. And that's probably because even surrounded, like say they attack one of my spearmen units, you're gonna get flanked right away. I have so much maneuverability with all these guys that it's just it leads to just letting me do my thing with my cavalry and holding still. Now you see that big flaming shot going out. Oh man, they could have done some serious damage if they got all hits. Imagine if they got all hits with their catapult. I'd be in the shits right now. I'd be panicking. I'd probably be running away with my elites, trying to stay. Okay, now we got our elite cav coming in to finish off their catapults, which is great. Gotta turn these guys off fire at will so we're not shooting at our own general. And there's my explosion onto their center line. Catapults are rip-roaring and going. I kind of regret not keeping my, oh, that's devastation right there. Devastation. It's either infantry coming in. I want to keep them from engaging my cavalry unless they're getting hammer and anviled. There's nothing really that important for my horse archers to take care of, except for their missile troops. Everything else can be attacked and cleared with their arty threat down. This is where I'm wondering why I didn't just bring my horse archers back around the back side of my infantry. But the more I get them to turn around, face the other direction, the more this bulk right here can fire right into the back side of those orcs. This is super dangerous for them. I'm going to run my Smiths of Viridian out, and the best unit in the game will come to fight with the Uruk-hai infantry. Okay, so we have spread our horse archers out. Take a quick look at the field of battle. And we're going to run our cav back to our lines. And just throw our elites right in the center. I mean, these guys are the ones that I want to do the majority of the fighting. I want to raise their experience up. Get those 9 chevrons. Imagine Smith's Viridian has 9 chevrons.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Get our horse archers back to the line. Just unbelievable, the look of that artillery just going crazy. Okay, now they have nothing left to chase outside of just that bulk here in the center. We've taken down their hard targets that can do tremendous damage. But I'm not sure. I can't remember. They might have berserkers too, which are like the 2 hit point unit. They're very good. Catapults are a little mixed up, which is fine. I'm going to shift fire with them, make sure they're going to continue shooting. Our horse archers are just letting it rip. Which is oh man, it's dangerous to be over here. That's for sure. Let's set them up here. My 3 spear looking V formations ready to go. They're going to be ready to chase down any routers we might get. Pull them right in the back. I want them to go for my elites. We can spring Tulkas Faithful right on these Uruk Reavers. They don't know the Tulkas Faithful are even there. And here we go. We got our unit of Thranduils, also known as the Tulkas Faithful. Bunch of Thranduils coming in. The Reavers are, I believe, an armor-piercing unit. And we're going to get our Smiths of Viridian going. I'm going to bring them up. We're going to leave our archers put. Actually, let's shift them to the right. Fill any gap.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
And we'll pull our catapults back and throw them into a line formation with the ballista infantry. So if anybody wants to try to find a gap into the back field, we can take them right out. This seems as though this is going to be the main primary engagement. Now this is going to be the infantry fight. Our spearmen have heavily charged the left flank. Now the spearmen on the right, what shall we do with them? It looks like that unit kind of was somewhat caught up with the Smiths of Viridian, but instead of actually fighting them, they seem like they just ran right by. They're really after the So the left side line has broken for them. Keep my archers shooting at important targets. Naga skirmishers are very important to kill. Target practice, really. And it looks as though they have one unit of ballistas ready, so we gotta get our horse archers back in the game here. Get these guys positioned on the flanks of these attacker, help out our smiths. We've lost 6, which is surprising. They might have got caught by just people running around. Might not be facing the proper direction. And our swordsmen are charging into the side. That's a big push, and it causes a charge, which makes sense. Isengard, because of not like really coordinating their attack, has led really to them getting in these crappy situations. They're fighting all of my elite infantry at once. They've set themselves up for very much failure. And really, no matter what they do at this point, they're not going to really cause much damage. Best way to switch off something, throw them in shield wall. Infantry was the best spear. Our spear push right up the center. Our Smiths of Eregion hitting them in the flank. Quick hammer and anvil. Routers over here. I'll shoot at the router. There's nothing better to do for the archers at this point. Get our Noraturnos chasing the right cav. Looking good, looking very good. As we reform our lines, everything kind of formed up and moving out. We'll come from the side. There's a big route, so let's just reset the line completely. All of our infantry facing forward. This should scare the crap out of these guys. I'm surprised we haven't just won outright right now, but let's set our heavy cav up here on the side. Our cavalry in the backfield is just running around chasing crap. Move our archers up behind our line.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue and run them down.
Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. There's a lot of battles we got done in this episode for sure. We got a couple changes potentially coming to the channel very soon. I think there's one more episode I'll be doing, and then from there on in, we might be doing a live stream of this campaign. Whereas you can watch the live stream, or you can catch it on my channel. It'll be uploaded to the channel, so you guys can just watch it later. And it won't be like as polished as this. It won't have an intro and outro and everything, but you guys have seen it enough where you know what's going on. And you guys are intelligent enough to ask any questions you have regarding the content of the videos. So, hope y'all are doing good. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. But until next time, take her easy, guys.
This is a clear victory. Stay in the trees!
We protect the Elven lands!
Follow me.
My lord. Approaching.
Sire!
Elves, like the wind.
Elves, we must give up the road! Stay alert!
Yes, my lord. My lord.
Elven warriors, for the light.
Come on!
My lord. Yes, my lord.
Swiftly, Elven warriors.
Your orders. As you wish.
By the light of Elbereth!
For the light.
My lord.
Follow me. Elven warriors.
Come on!